Hello, folks. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Hope you guys are doing okay. And sorry I haven't been in here for a while, folks, but I've been busy with my own stuff. And sorry that I made y'all feel that I wasn't coming back in. But anyway, what I want to talk about tonight is, do you feel safe when you're out in public or at home sometimes, folks? Well, nowadays we have to protect ourselves. And I'm talking about from everybody, folks, not just the narcissist or whatever. I'm talking about if you go out, like women that go out by themselves and things like that, they have to be careful about their surroundings and things like that nowadays, because it's become so dangerous now that we have to pray that God will protect us in every way, so we can be, God can put his arms around us and protect us from bad situations. It's called being in the wrong place at the wrong time. And there's a lot of people that wind up hurt or killed even by the wrong people, folks. And that's why we have to be safe. And that's one reason why that my husband asked me if I wanted to go to the state fair this year. And I told him no, because I didn't feel safe there. And I'm talking about, being in a crowd of people, folks, because we've had all these mass shootings and stuff going on around the United States, folks. And I think it's a shame that people has not learned about God and how God operates, and things like that, folks, to where he could protect you. But a lot of people doesn't realize, folks, that if they don't rely on God, he can't dwell in places where there's a lot of sin and things like that going on. So that means that when we're not relying on God, that we are separating ourselves from God and trying to do things on our own. And it doesn't work, folks. But there's a lot of things that's been going on since I talked to y'all the last time. I'm not political or anything like that, folks, but I thought that was a sad situation about what happened to Charlie Kirk. And in my opinion, folks, even though that was a political situation, it doesn't matter, because God doesn't look at us as Republicans or Democrats. He looks at us as people that he created, and just as normal human beings. And it has nothing to do with politics, folks. But what makes it sad is Charlie Kirk had 2 little kids, and he had a wife that he left behind and stuff, folks. And it's really sad on the behalf of the wife and the 2 little children that now they're going to have to do without, she's going to have to do without a husband, and the children's going to have to do without their daddy. And really and truly, folks, when you stop and think about it, that was all uncalled for, and it was all in the name of politics. And, when Judgment Day comes, folks, there's not going to be any politics. It's just going to be the good people or the bad people. And so that's how God will judge us all. We'll have two separate places. We'll either go to the good place or the bad place. There's no Republicans or Democrats involved, folks. But, I think that's sad that politics divides us all that way, folks, and makes us do things that we really shouldn't do to one another. And right there shows you that people has lost the love that they used to have for one another, folks, and the compassion and the empathy. And it's really sad, it really is. But we want to try to protect ourselves out in public, watch all the surroundings around us, and be real careful on everything where we go, folks, because, there are places that we could go that could put us in danger and stuff like that, and we just have to be real careful about that. But I wanted to get on here and talk to y'all tonight, and once again, I'm just me. I'm not a therapist or anything like that, folks. I'm just somebody that has my opinion on things and likes to try to give good advice to other people. I'm just a common person out here that has an opinion, and that's it. But we all have to just be careful and protect one another, folks. All the neighbors around should protect one another, and try to make sure that they look out for each other and be helpful to one another and love your neighbors, folks. That's what God wants us to do anyway, because in reality, folks, we're all supposed to look out for one another and be kind to one another and not be mean to one another and try to get mad at somebody and do things that hurt them and things like that, folks, just because you don't like somebody else's opinions. We should all be able to agree to disagree without being mean to one another. That goes back to, like, if you were a child and say your sibling wanted one thing and you wanted another. Well, that doesn't mean that we have to hurt each other, folks, just because we have two different opinions on things. We could sit down and talk it out in a calm manner and come to a good, agreeable decision on it and try to work things out in a calm manner, folks. There's no need in getting angry and getting all out of sorts, over things that mean absolutely nothing, folks. Because that's not what God meant for us to do. He meant for us to, He knows that we're not all perfect and that we're all not going to be good every single day of our lives, but we have to try, folks. We have to try to talk to one another and be calm about it and just agree to disagree, folks. That's what that is, And, but I'm glad to see you all again. Hi, folks. How y'all doing? I hope you're not too mad at me because I haven't gotten back in here, but if you want to base your opinion on anything, folks, just leave a reply down in the reply box. Today was a very pretty day outside, and we're trying to all enjoy what warm weather we got left, folks, because winter's coming up pretty soon, and it's going to be too cold to get out and do anything, so we all have to make the best of the warm weather that we got left and enjoy the outside a little bit. Even though I haven't been going outside too much, folks, but I need to get out there and clean my decks off and things like that, folks, because these trees is all turning colors and stuff, and pretty soon the wind's going to be blowing all the leaves off of the trees, and they're going to be all over the deck. They're going to be in Saber's pool that we keep out here in the back that she drinks out of. That pool is very dirty and it needs to be fixed, but we keep Saber in the house most of the time anyway now because she's gotten older, and I've been kind of trying to watch her a little bit. I let her go outside sometimes and stay as long as she wants to sometimes, but I like for her to be in here close around me to make sure that she's okay. And I hope you all stay safe out there and watch your surroundings. And if you go in a crowd of people, just be real careful, folks. And try to pray to God that everything will be safe when you go out. And all the women that go out should probably have somebody with them all the time and make sure they're safe. And if you've gotten out of a bad relationship or anything, folks, you got to stay safe with that too. So it keeps us busy nowadays trying to keep ourselves out of harm's way and everything, folks. I hope you guys have a nice evening and a blessed evening too. You got this, folks. You're awesome. Bye-bye.